What's up, dude? It's been a minute.
Yeah, I feel like I was literally about to make a tweet to this work that literally, me and Willy's only interactions the past few years have either been chess games and now awkward podcasts, technical difficulty. Both actually not fun activities. They're both stressful mental activities that are supposed to be fun.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
I saw Willy at a festival 2 years ago. I was like, hey, what's up? And now we're just in beef.
I was going to bring up that festival. I'm glad you remember that, because that was like, it was an awkward interaction. I guess all we do is awkward interactions.
Well, yeah, because we only see each other like a few times and stuff like that. But like we know each other, like not like that. There's no beef or anything. It's like, oh, what's up? I was like, I know you, but it's like not. Yeah, was that Hardfest?
Yeah, it was hard. It was
summer. Hardfest.
And,
hard summer. Hard summer.
It was interesting because that was like the last event that Destructo was involved with for like hard.
Yes.
And so it was kind of that vibe, that like nostalgic kind of sad vibe where everyone knew he was leaving and he knew he was leaving.
Yeah. Most stuff.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, even that was an interesting time because I feel like that event, it wasn't about that event specifically, but that did sort of mark a new era, like the total 100% corporatization of EDM was like, that was the point.
I mean, I guess so. I think at that point it was already there. Yeah. And I'm not even mad at it, obviously. Like, I'm not mad at it, but I think it was already there at that point, real talk. Like, and it was there. You know, like it's been like that for at least like 4 years before that, I feel.
I mean, yeah, that's true. So maybe instead of, I should correct myself. So I guess that was the end of it, the end of that process rather than the beginning, right?
Yeah. It was the culmination, and it was the conglomerate. When everything became a conglomerate, that's what it really changed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Besides being big business, now it's big corporation business. I think that's the difference is, you know?
Yeah.
It's been from big money to big corporation, and that's like, I think the difference, you know?
Yeah, you're right, because it was big money for a long time, but now the big money moved from individuals to corporations.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's a great fucking tweet because you're absolutely right. All the shit we do together is stressful. Oh, man. I mean, it's funny, though, because I've always thought of you fondly. Like, we've sort of known each other on and off for over a decade. Like, we probably met on the holler board, right?
We met on the holler board and stuff like that, yeah. And like, I definitely knew, like, because I mean, the holler board, Philly, New York, Chicago connection, those were like in Boston. Like, when in that scene, those are like you sort of knew everybody who was there because there was only like a few DJs, I guess, at that time doing what we did, right. And everybody knew each other. Yeah, man, that was a special era. Like, I don't know. How do you feel about that era? Because I think for all of us, that was when we sort of really started making our name. It's when we first became like, quote unquote, professionals in some senses. And the vibe of it was amazing. Like, I had a great time, but it was also very messy. I mean, my thing about that era is that I really, you know, I really loved being in New York during that time and stuff. I owe my music career during that time. It was a really good time, you know, but it also, I have better vibes about sort of hanging out with the people and maybe just like parties sort of, than about the whole music and the scene just in general. Because I mean, I'm a black kid from Philly coming and doing trying to do club. I was doing club music and stuff back then, and it was like, then you're in the Hollywood world and there's like all these like issues and stuff like that, which like I got mad beef on the board. I'm just like, well, you're coming at me crazy about this, and like I'm gonna see you in the club because you're coming at me about club music while you're working at a carpet store and designing graphic design for carpet with a degree, and I'm literally out here selling drugs trying to make club music. So I feel some sort of way about that, dude. I'm sorry. You know?
Of course. And I mean, that's a great point. And this still happens to this day, but I think that hollerboard era was the first time where people who were excited about this music but didn't understand the roots of it really started getting involved, and there was this big culture clash.
Oh, there was a bit, and literally, I mean, I was the only person like one of the few that was younger, that was doing that stuff. Sorry, my fucking low power mode came. Were you still there though? Yeah. I was one of the few younger people. I was one of the few younger people that was actually doing that stuff, that came from that stuff, that came around. Like now we got, after me, it was like Sega. And there was like a couple other people around and stuff like that. And like, you know, obviously Josh was, you know, Flash Adamus and stuff like that, you know, but he was like, you know, but with younger black people and stuff like that, there wasn't that many around. So it was like a whole weird vibe. You know, it's like, it was like, it was
well, because like, everybody was excited about young black music, right? But there just weren't any actual young black people.
And then when they come around, I'm like, well, you listen to hood music and now you're dealing with this. I'm sorry. I just went to private school. My bad. Sorry. But I'm here because I know what you guys are going to do.
You're from Philly originally, right?
I'm from Philly. Yeah, I'm from Philly.
How long did you live there before you moved away?
When I left high school, I moved straight to New York. And then I went back to Philly and I like worked with kids in North Philly and stuff like that. I worked for City Year. I was like mentoring kids and like doing education and stuff like that. Then I went back to New York, had a job in the music industry, and then lost that, trapped and DJ'd and stuff like that.
Okay, I got you. So, I mean, growing up in Philly, what was it like when you were coming up? Because, you know, like you said, you're maybe like one generation older or one generation before a lot of the people I talked to on this show. Like, what was the vibe? What part of Philly did you grow up in?
I mean, I grew up in like, my family's from West. I grew up in Mount Airy, East Falls, went to school in North. My family lives back in West. Like basically my whole family's West Philly. I went to school in North Philly and like Mount Airy, East, just like these neighborhoods. I don't know. I
mean, what are those neighborhoods known for somebody like me who doesn't know?
Okay. I mean, like Mount Airy is like a working class, middle class black neighborhood. That's where I first was. West Philly. It's either from like middle class, like hood, whatever. Like Will Smith's from West Philly, and then where my grandma's from my mom's from is a different section. Is what it is. And then I grew up, and I spent my high school years in East Falls, which is it's a weird neighborhood. It's working class, racist working class. In the section where I was in, there's two projects on both sides. No racist, but I used to play basketball for the projects, like on there. And then it's super rich section. Like Grace Kelly is from East Falls.
Oh, okay.
Like Princess Grace Kelly. I used to work at the library also, which is in like the rich section, and all the people from the library who like funded it were from the Grace Kelly section.
Oh, so like, of course.
So it's like literally all within like 5-minute walk of each other. So it's a very interesting vibe.
Interesting. And I mean, was it a good place for you to grow up? Like, did you have fun as a kid? Were you running on the streets? I enjoyed when I lived in Mount Airy and my time taking out West Philly and stuff before I moved to East Falls. I did have friends in East Falls. I had good friends. I had a good time playing basketball and good times working at the library. But I grew up with mad racism in that neighborhood and the working class section, fighting people on the streets and stuff. So like, I have not been back. Right. I go back to my grandmom's house. I go tons of places. I have not been back to East Falls. I'm friends with the homies from East Falls too. I talk to them. I'll even see them like my black homies and stuff like that. And like someone like I've never been back to East Falls. Yeah.
I've never been back.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, man.
Yeah.
I mean, so if you were running around playing basketball, were you musically inclined at the time, or did that come along later?
I've been rapping since I was a kid, you know. So I used to rap on rap at Belmont Plateau and the barbecue, like real stuff like that as a freestyle session.
Like battles and freestyle.
Yeah. I played basketball seriously until I got to high school, and then I was just like, I didn't play serious enough to go to college. I played competitive with people who went to college, but I said fuck all this high school stuff because I knew I was not good enough to get to the NBA. I just do this. So then I started like really getting into, I hate to say it's like you're rapping at the NBA, but I'm a computer nerd, so it's fine. But
you're like multifaceted, man.
Yeah. But then I started rapping and like really making beats and stuff. And I used to like battle people on the street and like make hip hop beats and stuff like that.
And were you known for it at the time?
I was known for as much as you could in a like social media internet time, like your high school, like when you were in the corner and battle people and stuff like that. You know, like as much as you could know, like I would like sell beats to some people. I didn't really become known for music till I was like, you know, in my 20s and stuff.
Sure,
like
yeah.
You know,
so you weren't performing at a young age outside.
No. Yeah, I performed. I did like little shows and stuff as you do, like talent showcases. And I once even, because I worked at the library, booked my rap group for the first paying gig through the library system.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah. I tapped the educational component onto it while I talked about hip hop and technology, and then we rapped, and then we all got paid and we bought sneakers.
Dude, that's great. I have a very white version of that story, which is that I was in a Jewish rap group when I was in high school, and I finessed the local JCC to let us perform on some like religious shit. And we performed at this like summer festival at the JCC. We got paid, I mean, almost nothing, but you know, it was a lot at the time. And then we were asked to never return to that JCC because we were just doing like super offensive music that really should not have been presented that way. But it's extremely nerdy. But I mean, you mentioned you're a nerd too, right? So where did those tendencies come from? What did you get into any kind of nerd culture when you were younger as well?
I mean, I mean, nerd. I'm into computers and stuff, and like, I mean, I had I played video games, and like I like, you know, like stuff like that. I like the new nerd culture of like really being heavy into comic books. Like I collected comic books and stuff like that, but I sort of stopped, so I can't really say about that. Right. I'm more nerd. Like I'm into computers and stuff like that. Like, I'm the super internet person, and I was like,
were you always that way?
Yeah, I was like programming computers as a young kid. Like my high school that I went to in North Philly was like the nerd, like engineering and science high school and stuff like that. So like, I was like programming computers and stuff in high school, and like I went to a magnet school for that stuff.
Oh, interesting.
I was on the environmental science team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, I got environmental science facts for days. I was like in competition. Yeah.
Damn. Well, it must be a depressing time to know a lot about environmental science, man.
Yeah, that's why when I be on Twitter, I'm like, yeah, man, this is so crazy. But I guess you weren't on the environmental science team, so like, I'm just going to like smoke some weed, man, because this is not looking good.
Well, that's kind of what I love. I love everything about your Twitter presence, but what I like, I mean, you're super, for anybody who doesn't follow you, you got to follow Dances because it's one of the best follows out there. But what I like about it is you're very prolific. You're always saying something, and it can swing so wildly from like environmental science facts to just like totally roasting some idiot to anything in between, to like weird existential philosophy.
Yeah, I mean, I smoke weed. I got the internet for my thoughts, so I don't text the people. So it's good.
And you smoke weed, right? Like,
I smoke weed, Joe. Like because I got smoke weed for pain because of my car accident, and I got like now just like smoke it for like mental. I just like smoke weed I just like smoke weed.
Yeah. How much? I mean, I barely, I shouldn't even say barely. I don't really smoke weed. And for a non-weed smoker, can you quantify?
I go through about half an ounce myself. Personally, I do about an edible or two a day and about 3 dabs a day with some kind of vapes in the middle. So I guess. Yeah. That would be, I guess, half an ounce would be about 16. So I would say about a gram a day or something like that. I don't know, like
yeah. 12, I mean, that's a significant amount. Yeah. And you mentioned the car accident. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
For sure. Because I remember when that happened. And first of all, I haven't talked to you in a while, but yeah, man, I'm glad, you've fucking recovered and are. I know it's not all the way back to normal, but
it's never going to be back to normal. This is
right.
But it's so much better, so it's all good.
No, I'm glad to hear that, man. But taking it back to the nerd shit and the science shit. So if you're going through high school, going into college, what kind of a student were you back then?
I was a star student, but I was a star student beside the fact that I was really good at school. So, and like, I hate homework.
Yeah.
So I just basically aced all my tests and just like rapped and stuff like that. Even at the magnet school, I got like I got the highest SAT scores in school. I got the highest PSAT scores in my school and stuff like that. I never had like problem with school. Just like always just like.
Were you one of those students that the teachers would get annoyed at because you would kind of pick and choose what work you wanted to do and then you would just ace all the tests?
Yeah. But my mom is still friends with my math teacher. She sees my math teacher all the time. And she says what's up to me. She like loves me like from high school and stuff like that. My mom just saw her last week. Like my math teacher was mad because she just like, she knows it's math. Like I got the tests and stuff like that. Your history teacher gets kind of mad about it because your history teacher's like, why? I'm like, yo, man, I read the fucking thing. Like I know the thing. What, you want me to write what I read so I do something? No, once I can get a job, I'm never going to work, bro. I'm just going to do this test. So let's get this straight.
Yeah, man. That's like such a great. I always love that trope of like the kid who's just a little too smart for the class, you know? Because I love that, man.
But like I let the homies cheat off me too. I let everybody from my high school, like I went to a nerd high school, and they still were cheating off me at the nerd high school. But everybody fucks with me. Like if you're friends with me on Facebook, that's the one thing my funny about the internet is that it's all my friends from all the way up. It'll be like somebody talking like I sold drugs to somebody knew guys in kindergarten. They're like, oh God, Frog, you're back on this. But I gave everybody Fruity Loops in high school, and I plugged people with drugs when I was up. So like, you can't be mad. It's like, damn, nerds help the world, man. You want an MP3? I got you. You want the answer to the test? I got you, man.
Oh, man. And what did your folks do, speaking of your mom?
Okay, so my mom, like my mom had me like college age. My mom ended in college, you know. She had me was basically like on welfare and stuff like that. And my dad was like trying to learn stuff. My dad was like my dad worked UPS. Then he had a water rights truck also. So I used to work on the water rights truck. If you guys know what water rights is, Italian ice. I was like 8 years old on the water rights truck, trapped with my dad. Then my dad worked at IHOP. So I don't fuck with IHOP. I went to IHOP 2 years ago with Walker and Royce and Vanessa, and I was like, guys, don't go to IHOP. It's fucking trash. It was so bad. It was so bad in there that with Walker and Royce and Vanessa, everybody's all stressed out. I was like, see, I told you, man. Dude, it was Coachella. It was last year. I was like, we were at IHOP at Coachella. One of the worst experiences of our life. I told it would be whack, man. But but my dad worked at IHOP, and then he got a job at the Four Seasons, which he still does now. And then my mom worked in the hospital, became a paralegal. That's just what. Yeah.
Got you. And you know, when you went through high school, like going into college, did they have expectations for what you were going to go on to do if you were, you know, a super gifted student?
No, my mom and my mom and my dad were always like on some shit like, hey, like my mom supports, like actually was really supportive of the rap thing as much as she could be, you know? Like she's like not into like violence or like sex and stuff like that. She's a very nice Christian will be. But the reason I know about music business stuff is literally my mom fucking enrolled me in music business class.
Oh wow!
Dude, she even had one in the fucking bar. I talked to my mom about this one. Me and my mom went to a bar one time. My mom don't do none of that shit. And she pulled up at the bar with me for the music seminar. She's like, I got my son. He's underage. He's really into this. I think he'll like it. And so I like to learn all that stuff. And she set me up for another one. And like everything. So like she like was just like supportive about anything I wanted to do as long as I held the school down and like not getting too much trouble and stuff like that, you know? And like, so like they, you know, like, yeah, they were, the only time my parents ever held me back was when I wanted to give beats to, who was it? Was it Tragedy Gaddafi? To Tragedy Gaddafi. The rapper Tragedy Gaddafi. Like, I'm going to show my age, but I'm like young trying to get beats to Tragedy Gaddafi, but he wanted me to go from Philly to Queens to give him beats. I'm like, my dad's like, you can't do that. I was like, yo, Dad, it's Tragedy Gaddafi.
Wait, how old were you at the time?
It's like 15 or something like that. Like whatever, Dad. I could have like, you know, had a good little 6-year beat production career. Look at me now. Look at me now, Dad. No, like they like, you know, they were like down with like, there's like, I would like go to school, go to the library, hit the studio, do like a show and come back and stuff like that. And they weren't even mad about it because I wasn't really in the streets like that. You know,
Yeah.
I wasn't in the streets like that, and they were really happy I wasn't fighting people in the streets. I did a lot of that growing up to life, and I wasn't like everybody else. Like I wasn't smoking or nothing. I wasn't smoking or having sex or doing nothing like that. Nothing wrong with having sex, kid. I just was a very good Christian kid who made music and beat people to fuck up sometimes. But that happened. But
you were raised Christian as well?
Yeah, raised Christian in the church. Learned I like song. I did audio video ministry in the church and stuff like that.
Wow.
I was going to church every Sunday all through high school and everything like that. Oh,
that's great. Do you take any of that with you? Do you still think of yourself as Christian?
I believe in like religion for all, whatever you want to believe in. And I believe in some of the good tenets of Christianity, like, you know, do unto others and love people and believe in forgiveness and stuff like that. So like, I'm down with that. I'm not really down with like everything weird about marriage and homosexuality and everything else like that, like against like gay stuff and everything like that, and like some of the other weird things and stuff like that. And that's like how like I fit, you know, like I don't have the issue with Christians because I don't have the issue with anybody's religion, you know?
Right.
So that's where I'm at, you know?
Yeah. I feel you, man. It's always interesting to see, you know, people who are raised strongly religious. I feel like it goes one of two ways, right? Like either they super reject it and then come back to it at a certain point.
Well, yeah, but you see, the thing is though, is like that is true. But it's also very interesting when you like look at Black people doing music. That's like it's just kind of in the music. Because basically R&B is gospel, and gospel is sexy music. You're just fucking God. You know what I mean? You know, like you're street when you're just like, like, you know, you're fucking God. You know what I mean? And
I love that.
And you know, and so it's not that, you know, these people don't really lose it. If you listen to these rappers fucking talk, even, you know, these people, lots of producers really come from the church, real talk. Because if you play in the church, you learn so much. And like, you'll see people like play something like God is my shepherd, all this other stuff, and then like post guns, you know, and then like ops is coming for me. Like it don't really leave, you know. Like look at DMX, you know what I'm saying? Like it is, but it's like, you know, it's like it is what it is, you know.
Yeah. Zaytoven's another one I always think of.
Yeah, Zaytoven, like you can hear it in his beats too. You can just hear it.
Yeah, you're right, man. It's really interesting because there's a different relationship there.
Yeah. London on the Track is another guy who grew up in the church.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
I Googled it because his piano skills sounded like, I'm like, this guy sounded like he grew up in the church. I was listening to Lifestyle Bad High. I was like, I Googled London in the Track church. Boom, right up. Played in the church and everything. You could hear it.
I love that, man. So, and for you, you know, if you're 15 and rappers like Tragedy Gaddafi are just people who have names or hearing your beats, how are they even aware of you? How were you getting them out back then?
Trapping. Just like I was rapping on the streets. I was making beats with older people. I was in the studio. I was just doing the whole hip hop thing, like as much as you can back then before internet became crazy and YouTube and social media.
So you're like passing off CDs to people with beats.
CDs to people with beats. I'm listening to the studio. I'm on the ciphers. I'm on the battles. Like I'm like living the 8 Mile, you know. Like,
and then so you go off to college, and what was your mindset at that time? Was it, you know, I'm going to go to college, get a career, music is a side thing, or was music the focus?
I went to college in New York City. So I went to college so I could go to New York. I wanted to make hip hop and I wanted to see New York. I basically when I got to college, I learned it was just as easy as high school, and I like really lost all care for it. And I was like, this shit's too expensive for me. So I like just got into partying and just whatever. And that was just like my mindset. Just like I made beats every day. Was rapping less, like, and then like I just sort of more got into a little bit into the life in college. You know, like I learned a lot in college and stuff like that, just from being you know, they say you learn, like, you know, from like not being outside your environment. And I really like, I learned a lot about like New York and seeing other stuff. And like really like I learned about other cultures, because like Philly is multicultural, but like I met Filipino people in college who I'm friends with. Like I didn't know about Filipino people. You know, I thought she was Mexican when I first met. Like I meet homies like that. Like I don't know.
Yeah. And what were you studying theoretically?
Business.
Okay.
Business.
Yeah. you're living in New York out there, you're running around, getting into the party scene a little bit. When does the electronic music, the dance music side of it enter?
So let me run this to you. So I was in New York for a year at school. Then I went back to Philly, and then I worked with kids and stuff at City Year and stuff like that. And then I went back to New York, and I was working for Music Choice as an urban programming intern. I was I was like picking music and stuff like that and everything. So I was like doing like hip hop programming and stuff like that, which is also why I was like, no, I really did programming. So, and then I lost that job, and I sort of, when I had never DJed before, but I like DJed one party before, and then this guy told me, he was like, I just ended up DJing and then trapping, and I was into dance music. I'm in the Baltimore club, and like I like the Percolator, but I thought the Percolator was a Baltimore club song this whole time. Right. You know, I just thought, I didn't even know. And like I like Gypsy Woman, like I liked it, but then I sort of just started going out just more in New York. Just like, and I had sort of heard about Diplo and stuff like that. And I was like, I might, Diplo on low budget, Holotronics, right? And I'm like, this is kind of interesting. You guys are, and not interesting in a good way. Like I was a hater. I was like, I don't really feel this, but I was like, but then I started going out, and I saw them like, oh no, this is cool. I mess with this. And then in the middle of me, I used to sell drugs. I'm sorry, I was long-winded. It was actually what got me into making dance music was I was selling drugs, I was selling ecstasy, and I saw Danny Tenaglia at, I want to say Sound Factory is one of the signs or something like that. After like selling ecstasy, I was like, okay, I'm down with this because I can see how you can tell a story. Right. And I could see how, and I was very disillusioned with selling beats back then because of the issues of trying to be a tragic Gaddafi and trying to like meet these people and stuff like that, and sending a CD and not hearing for 14 months if they take it, and then waiting another. That's not good enough for me. I was trapping. I was just like, you know what? I bet you I can do dance music. And I see what these people are doing, and I'm not going to let them like chop up. I know what they're going to do. Like, I know they're going to like try to like chop up this stuff and do it for the hipsters. And I was living the hipsters. I'm like, no, we're not going to do that. And I started doing it. And I made 2 songs as like Frog, but like that I changed my name to Dance to White Girls, and just like boom, like that.
Yeah. I mean, to this day, it remains a brilliant name, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that no one would argue with that. But it's interesting, too. I mean, you're talking about, doing the trapping, selling drugs. Was that activity what took you into the club to hear Danny Tenaglia? Yes, that was what took me in. I would have never went to go see Danny Tenaglia or Sasha and Big Weed or Dub Tribe Sound System. Like I would have never went to go see those people. I would never went to like, if I wasn't someone eat ecstasy to these like kids who like that stuff. I was going to like Bay Ridge kids, and I would just go party with them, and they were just like, yo, can you come to the club with me? I'm like, okay, I'll go to the club with you, because they don't know how much they want. But they were just like, so I was like, okay, I'll go to the club with you and just feed you all day. You give me money for days. And I was just like, oh, this is dope. This is really dope. And that's like, and I got into that, yeah. That's interesting. Did the balance of like trapping to music start to shift at that point? Or were you sort of doing both for a while?
I was doing both, even through my first EP release, and like even like I sort of stopped after like my first year going to Miami and stuff like that. But I was trapping when I was in Miami when I went down there. But I got caught, and so I started slowing it down for my career, and then like I just basically stopped. Like a year or two after my shit came out. After I put out the song with the Raptures label, I stopped after that. So I'm like 12 years out of the game or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, that was late 2000s, something like that. Yeah. It's interesting, like thinking about, not knowing about this world and then sort of being exposed to it through this lens. Did you feel like you were able, either when you started or even up till now, that you're sort of able to bring like a different style, a different attitude to it because you were sort of that outsider?
Yeah. I think, because I think I'm always, I think it's because I come from a very commercial open format club world. That's why I was first DJing, and like a hip hop world. So I think I just sort of understand it in that way, and it's like, and even now, like hip hop is all part of dance music. It's all over.
Yeah.
But most people who do hip hop stuff in dance music or work of it don't really come from hip hop necessarily per se. And lots of times when they try to even get rappers, up until recently, most of the rappers they just like sort of get a rapper and build a dance thing. It's not like they really on the dance music and actually good. Up until recently, there's like some kid like Bach Nero is from Philly and he's really dope, you know? So,
yeah. I mean, there's definitely some people who have kind of specialized, some rappers who have sort of specialized in bridging that gap.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting space because, it's, I don't know. I feel like there's more that could be done because I usually don't like a rapper on an EDM song. Like I have an immediate negative reaction when I see it. But then every once in a while, it works out perfectly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, obviously, every time I do it, works out. But
well, yeah. I'm not even talking about you.
I was being a joke. I was just a little joke.
You're a vocalist, my friend.
No, but it's there's room for it, and what the room that needs to happen right now is that, you know, I'm on, not to bring it back to Twitter all day, but I'm on Twitter all day, and I see people like every time, like Black Twitter's like, yo, let's make house music black. Yo, I love house music. Yo, when they play like, you know, Bucketheads or something like that,
right.
And I'm like, that's dope. And then they're like, yo, I love K Tronada. He should like do a song with this. I love Channel Tress. I like this. Like it's all there, and I think people just need to push what's going, and then I just think, like, push what's happening, and then I think people just need to like open themselves up. Like when I'm trying to do ratchet stuff on it, like I'm at this point, I think what's really missing, and like house music, because like I like EDM, but like, you know, house and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's good, but it's not ever. The problem is that it never really feels like what you want from hip hop sometimes. You know, like it's not that it needs to be dirty or something like that. It's just like not like ratchet in like a sleazy way until they put an acapella over it. You know?
Yeah, that's a really good point.
It's either like, yo, show me this ass or something like that, or just like, or turn up or something. But it's never like, there's no drop it like it's hot. And I understand it's a beat thing or something like that, but you know, there's no Travis Scott unless they're remixing Travis Scott.
Right.
You know? And there's, from working with people and stuff like that, that's because it's I don't think that they honestly would be able to necessarily, everybody doesn't have the library, the education to maybe do that, you know. But you know, a few people can do that stuff though. And like you hear when they work with people, you know, like if you hear A-Track work with somebody, you hear Diplo, you just like, oh, you obviously like hip hop and stuff like that. You know, there's some people that's like Carnage does a great job. Like Carnage does a great
absolutely.
job. Yeah, Carnage does a great job. Like I don't care if nobody says Carnage does a great job. You know?
He does a fantastic job, man. Yeah.
Yo, actually, real talk, the best person when it comes to getting rappers on EDM stuff would be Carnage. I think Carnage could he's the best because those rappers love him, and he gives them the vibe, and he does like a good job.
Yeah, and he gets it, man. What you were talking about with the energy and trying to match up those energies, like that's what I think Carnage understands more than anyone, because that dude, he doesn't compromise any of it, you know? It's like he'll go make like a super hood song with Migos, and then you see him the next day like playing hard style to 10,000 Germans, you know? Like there's something beautiful about that.
Actually, real talk, you know who else is really good at that? Marshmello. Marshmello got the rap bangers. Like,
it's true.
He don't even put out no more of like those others. Like he still does for those kids, but he makes rap bangers. Like Marshmello makes rap bangers. Like, quote me on that.
Oh, I'm with it, man. No, I completely agree. And that's what, honestly, to take it back to what we were saying earlier about rappers on EDM songs, that what we're talking about right now is what I want to see more of, where it doesn't even necessarily sound like an EDM song, but it doesn't exactly sound like a rap song.
Exactly.
That's what I want more of, is that hard to define. That's what we, and you know, I mean, I'm working on an album. I'm really trying to like do that stuff. I'm trying to like, I think what I'm trying to do, like, I wanted to sound like basically when you heard Daft Punk do it, but like not sounding Daft Punk, because like it's like not like it sounds like a rap song or like a thing. Just like okay, cool, this is like what works, you know, and like in those little spaces where people exist in, you know, because like I like Disclosure a lot. Like that new album's great, but
it doesn't have that energy. You know,
I kind of agree.
Yeah. No, I think it had good. Like, I think it's just as good. I just mean that what it's missing is it doesn't feel urban because they're two guys from England. That's all. But besides that, I think the album's great. 9 out of 10. No hate on the album. You know?
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm not hating either.
Oh yeah. I was just clearing that to the floor. That's all. Yeah. I just cleared that because you gotta clear things to the floor, man. Because
absolutely.
You know, like things get cut. Man, I was like, no, man. Like, yeah, the album was good. I just think when you make music and do everything, you have to find what you like and then what is missing, and that's the only reason to do something. You know, like you don't want to make a Rihanna song because you want to be Rihanna. You got to be, okay, what's Rihanna doing bad? Or like, what if I was Rihanna, what I see through Rihanna's eyes? Right. And then you try to make that, you know what I'm saying? Like, so when I think, I'm like, I love Disclosure. I'm not going to try to make a Disclosure record. Like, I would, but like, not really. I'm like, what are they doing? I'm like, what can I do that Disclosure can do? I'm like, Disclosure don't know booty like I do. I could do a booty Disclosure song. They could never do it like I do. And that's no disrespect. I like it, you know what I'm saying? I could not make a garage song like they did. How could I? Right. I didn't go up on no 2-step. How dare I play? You know what I'm saying? How dare I? But they could never do no booty like I could, and I'll put that on my mama. You know what I'm saying? But that's what you just find was like that you like, and you like what could be better. You know, like you know.
But see, this is great. I'm glad you're saying this though, because I think this is a problem a lot of young artists run into. Is they get drawn into the scene for whatever they're excited about, but then it's hard to understand how to get themselves involved without just sort of trying to copy what got them into it.
Yeah, and here's what I always say. I say here's that you always making art is a competition, but like a competition in like a you're just trying to do something different. Not like you were like not about gigs or like money and stuff like that. People try to make it like you're trying to like do something different, and you are competing with two people. You're competing with the heads in front of you who have mad experience, who've already done that stuff. So you try to copy them to try and do something new. And then you're trying to compete the person who's younger than you, who's trying to be better than you. So you have to keep on trying to do something new. So if you're trying to copy what's popping now, it's not going to work for you. Like I try to tell people all the time, I hear people, I'm like, ooh, I can see right now you're trying to be like Chris Lake, who I work with. I can hear in the records. I'm like, guess what? You're not going to be like Chris Lake. Yeah. I listen to those dudes record all the time. So I'm always trying to not do what Chris Lake does. No hate to him, but like that's just like how you have to think. And like I think that's the hip hop competition to me. While I last for this long, because I'm always like, they do this, I zag, and then like they're not. I'm like, people say it won't work, but I'm still here. Whereas people who try to do Moon Baton 3 years after Dave Nada created it did not have a career last longer than 1 year. So that's just the facts of the situation,
Absolutely, man. And that's another thing I wanted to talk about is that I think you have managed to occupy such a unique space. Like I think part of it is, of course, just your voice and the way you write, but you've sort of managed to like define this sort of sub genre of house music that, I think if people want that vibe, there's sort of only one person they can go to. No. Yeah.
If you want, I like to call it Festival Tech House. I like to call it American Festival Tech House. That's how they call it.
That's
sometimes
great.
It's big with a little bit of bass house. Bassy American Festival Tech House, as I like to call it. I would probably be the best vocalist for that thing if you want that thing, because I've got like 2 of the genre-defining songs for the new era. So
let's talk about how that happened, right? Because if we're talking about the Hollerboard era, I thought of you then as a DJ and as a producer, and I knew that you used your voice on your tracks, but I didn't think of you as a vocalist. And so, how did you kind of evolve into being known on that end of things?
I just like I used to rap all the time, and then I just like my homie, my roommate, just told me like I need to like rap about club stuff. I would like be rapping about it. We'd be in the afters. I'd be like rapping about the club. He's like, yo, you should really do this stuff. I was doing it. He's like, no, you need to put this stuff on. So I was like, okay, cool, whatever. And I did a couple things. Like I did some vocals like on like some of my stuff, and then people started reaching out and stuff. And I think it just it happened with a couple of reach outs, but it really happened after I started, real talk, when I started working with TJR and Chris Lake and stuff like that. Everything went boom. Because I was trying to do it, and then I did Ass Hypnotize, and I had did the Pitbull vocal, and it was just like boom, everything after that. And I was like, I quit DJing because the open format game, I was doing open format, and I was EDM. I hated it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had my pandemic 5 years ago when I was making $100 a gig, kids. So I said no, I had that. So
Well, yeah, I mean, so that's interesting too, right? Is that, sure. So throughout all of this, we talk about it like it's sort of a linear journey, but obviously there's years there where you're just trying to do a bunch of things and seeing what catches, what has potential, what has legs.
Yeah.
And, the open format DJing, was that, how successful was that for a time? Like, were you, because I knew you were touring, you were traveling over the country.
But I was traveling over the country off of Dance with White Girls. I did open format stuff while I was still doing Dance with White Girls in New York. So I could put food on the table, and cool, like play house music stuff, so I was just doing it so much consistently. I just was like, and then when the EDM slowed down, when the Block House ended, I was like, kids, here's the lesson about why you don't try to be somebody. Towards the end of Black House stuff, I convinced myself, I was partying too much, that I could be Brodinski, Boys Noise. I convinced myself I could be those people. Kazakhstan, and I'm not French. Apparently, I learned this. I'm not French. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't like all black clothing that much, even though I'm wearing it right much, and that wasn't me. Like, I was trash at it. Actually, one of my biggest songs on YouTube, if you Google my name, is a remix I did for Bronx on Dimac of like called Rebellion Lives. It's got like 150 plays, and but it's like literally sounds like fake. It sounds like fake, like it just has the vibe, and like, and then my shit wasn't going right. My mental wasn't right. I was partying too much. My life wasn't right, and I just was DJing in New York. Just like DJ throw parties, DJ afters party. I was not in the game, and I was just like not around. I just was just in New York, just in the scene, and then I left New York and moved to Philly, and then got back on this thing while I moved back to LA. Yeah.
Okay, got you. So yeah, you went back to Philly for a minute, and then it was LA after that.
Yeah.
And what point in there do you link up with Chris Lake and them?
I linked up with Chris. Well, I knew Chris Lake's manager and stuff like that from all the way back in the Block House days. I've known them because they used to work at Mastercraft and back people Brett. They're all the homies. Like, those dudes are fucking geniuses. And Brett hit me up for vocals for TJR because he knew I had his voice, and I did the vocal for him, and then that became the Pitbull song. Are you having a good time out there? I did that, and then because they were on the same name, and I did Ass Hypnotized with TJR, and then I just kept a working relationship with them.
Okay, I got you. So for the people who don't know, what's the story with the Pitbull thing?
Oh yeah, okay, guys. So I am on a Pitbull song that you have definitely heard. It's called Pitbull Don't Stop the Party. It's like, and it goes like, are you all having a good time out there? And that's my voice. So it's my favorite of if I had Easter egg facts, it's like being on a song with Pitbull and the Theophilus Tame Impala song are my two favorite songs because nobody knows about them, and they're the two ones that everybody's mom would know the names if I dropped them. But
go into the other one for people who don't know.
So
what's the Tame Impala one?
So it's the Theophilus song, London song featuring Tame Impala called Whiplash. I'm on the song. I have a whole verse. I'm talking, and I wrote on this song, and even helped with this. No, I'm just it just no. It's all good. Theo's the homie. And I wrote on the song, but I'm not listed. It's I'm a weird hidden feature. I don't know. Dio has a very Kanye mind in the good way of the creating like that. So he just it's kind of cool, man. I'm all right, cool. I didn't even know who Tame Impala was. Right. I didn't walk in the studio. I just thought he was a cool person and a rock band who Theo knew, who they drunk at a bar and maybe 1,000 people listen to his song. Okay, cool, yeah. I didn't realize he was Coachella headliner. I was okay, this is cool. But I have to keep on name dropping it because the models don't know. So for any models who listen to Tame Impala, I'm on a song with Tame Impala and Theophilus London. I'm on Theophilus London song with Tame Impala. I'm gonna keep on selling it so maybe models can hang out with me.
Yeah, we got to keep pushing that angle, man.
Got to keep pushing that angle, man. Less EDM, more psycho, like whatever that is, psych rock. I don't know what that is.
Well, I mean, to bring it back to just Easter egg facts about you, I think my favorite is the one I found last night, which is that you're on the Marvel Cinematic Universe Wikipedia.
Yo, that's like my favorite. I brought that up in the argument. It's like, I'm on the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You can never talk to me. It's not even cool. It's just because Operator's on the thing. It's like not even like a dope flex. It's
right. So the song Operator, which you do vocals on, appeared in a Marvel property.
It appeared in Runaways, and like, yo, one,
that was a good show. Great.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. It's pretty solid, and like, you know, but I just. They apparently add you to the wiki because comic nerds are awesome. I was like, okay, sick.
Right. So that's a little more of the nerd cred too for you, man.
Yeah. That's a nerd. I feel that's like you can. Nerd cred.
I mean, if we're using this all to get you dates, I feel like you can pull from a lot of different worlds. You know.
Yeah. But I'm really bad at like new nerd stuff. You know, like I'm so bad at it. I wish I was. It's just too hard. It's not even that it's too nerd. It's just too hard, man. These people are really dedicated. Yo, I just don't have that in me. Just show me like Batman beating somebody up and like I'm gonna walk away. That's all I need. You know, like
yeah. But you play chess heavy, so that's some nerd cred.
Okay. You know what's funny? I didn't even think about that as nerd cred. I think about that as a very intense passion that I'm doing into right now.
Right.
Let's talk about chess, guys. I'll talk about chess. I only play at 3-minute and 5-minute games now.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that's why we stopped playing together because you switched over.
Yeah, because that's only way people play competitively online is 3 minutes or 5 minutes, and now it's like a very serious thing. Like I'm watching chess YouTubes. Like it's dark, but like my game is improved on the pandemic.
You ever play with Aoki? Because he's on that 3-5 minute game shit.
Aoki, so Aoki hit my line.
I will, absolutely. Yeah. He was on this show and we were talking about chess and we didn't know each other played. And then we figured out that the reason was because he only does the 3 or 5 minute games and I do the like longer drawn out ones.
Yeah. Oh man. So Aoki, I'm actually just going to challenge him live on Twitter where I was like, yo, does your Aoki, you playing chess? Hit me up 3 minutes.
Oh, dude, he'll be down. Yeah. I think he does it every day.
Oh, this is great, awesome, sick. And I know Steve. I put records on. Let's get this in. Yes.
Yeah. I think he'd be down, man.
This is the best thing to come out of this show is finding out he plays chess. Yes.
Hey, man, it's what we're making connections, baby.
Yes. Sick.
But I want to make sure we talk about. You move out to LA. You do these vocals that become a big hit, right? And you're sort of known in a different way, like this long into the career. And I wonder for you, how do you see yourself or how did you see yourself at the time? Like when people start looking at you as a vocalist and not as a producer or a DJ?
Well, the thing is that it was kind of awkward for me when it happened to a point because that me becoming big at that time, I wanted to be known for doing vocals. I was already starting doing stuff. I was already DJing. But, when everything happened, when I got in my accident, the big stuff happened. Everybody really started being known to me and I was not able to DJ. So it was like I had like gigs lined up and stuff. Like I would get gigs in the hospital and I was like, no, I didn't DJ for like a year or so. And I came back out, like I'd already had this big pause and like and so it was very, for 1 second, it was very weird for me, kind of like I make beats, but then, I talked to some people, man. And I was like, it's cool. This is a good trap. I'm making more money. And this is a good way to go up. And then I talked to Chris and I wasn't even talking about myself. And he's like, yo, and I think about this all the time. He's like, look, this is club music. People listen to club music in their youth. So it's on a 4-year cycle. And 3-4 year cycle, it's like let's say 21, 25, you get kids or something like that afterwards, you might not listen or you do. And like, you have to just keep on going and reinventing and trying to make stuff all this time. And I can't imagine, if a 21-year-old kid listens to Operator or something like that, or like my news thing or like that, or like, or some song I did today, Hey Kitty or whatever like that, They weren't listening to Dancing with White Girls when they were 10 years ago. They weren't listening to somebody. If they were, I'd have more money. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'd be a whole different thing. And so I just just got past that. I was just like, whatever. And then I realized that I'm the only person. There's tons of people who make beats. You know what I mean? I was like, not anybody can do this. I said, yo, I just make beats for fun. I'm working my album, but and then I can rap and I have my own lane, no stress. So it was a little bit weird, but I don't even care, because I just I just got happy at being alive, So I was just like, yo, I'm making music, So just it was weird, but I was also dealing with a lot of other stuff. So that whole time was weird, and it was more weird because if you guys don't know, I know you're going to tell the people. I was involved in a car accident. I was in the hospital for a long time, and I was watching my songs being dropped while I was in the hospital, while I was in a wheelchair, not moving, and it was not even it was not even about the change. It was about the change of I had to really adjust to not even being around people, but them enjoying my music. But then because you're used to when the stuff comes out, you play gigs around them. People go, you see stuff like that. I got none of that. Right. I got none of that. But and that wasn't the game. Also, because I couldn't push for this stuff because. Even now, going on an airplane is fucking annoying sometimes. I'm 6 foot tall and I have a fucked up leg, I wasn't going nowhere. I couldn't push for gigs, you know what I'm saying? It was weird. I lost momentum. But then I was just like, yo, people are enjoying my music and I made all this at home, hurt seeing nobody. So why not just get into that? That's dope. I control the club from the home, from a wheelchair. I'm actually still in my wheelchair right now. I just keep it around. They're expensive. But who about you? It's fucking comfortable.
A good chair is a good chair, man.
This is a good wheelchair. But and then I just got into that. And I just had to, because you have to adjust to being disabled, and then you have to adjust to the same thing. I was like, I'm disabled, I can't go places, and that just is what it is, And sometimes I feel my career slowed because of that stuff, and other factors, all for the vocal stuff. But that's just you're just disabled, Joe. There's nothing you can do with it. You know what I mean?
Right. That's an interesting point, is that sort of at the same, because that's something I think career-wise a lot of artists go through, is getting frustrated that they can't capitalize on something or that something's not moving fast enough. But for you actually were learning that lesson in a physical, real world way.
No,
right?
yo, it was real. And I'm happy I waited because I did Coachella last year of Walker and Royce, right? The first week was so bad. I just really started walking and stuff like that. I was really about to pull out the next week to perform.
Oh, wow.
I was on some yo, man, I don't know if I can do it. I told the manager, I told everything. I was on some real, I'll just lie to my bed for 4 days. Because you're walking in a festival. I wasn't used to that. I've never even been to Coachella in my life. And I was walking and I just had to basically just I was just, smoking that weed and stuff like that. And then, it's just an adult show. Now I really started doing ketamine because that stuff really helps with, I like it a lot, but I was it was really helping at the festival, man. Because it's also a pain relief thing. And if you're just in there and chill, if I'm walking through a festival, I can walk miles on the festival on a fucked up leg if I can't get a car. If I'm in a hole, in the end when you're not used to seeing people. I wasn't used to seeing people. I went from the hospital not seeing nobody to everybody knows who I am and knows my song in the club. Is a very weird vibe. So I stayed in the K-hole. I just stayed in the K-hole just to deal with it, not on some I can't deal with people, just on some yo, it's I can't move, I'm being stopped in the festival. This is kind of annoying, not in a bad way, just I love to seeing the people, but just more I'm going through a physical war to deal with this. And it's
a little distracted.
It helps the war. Yeah.
That's such crazy timing, man, that that Operator, the song that you would, that would really change the career, would come out sort of right at the same time that you'd be in this crazy accident. And to be specific, and we don't have to talk about it if you don't like talking about it, but, the video of that, you got hit while you were on foot by a car, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And the video of that is fucking gnarly.
Oh, it's crazy. I actually laughed about I'm over it though, because literally today I was walking to cause I shave for this. I shave for
you're
podcast.
looking clean, by the way. Yeah.
That's how much I care about this podcast. I shave for you. You got the first shave. But like, I was walking to get clippers. Like I literally, there was a truck taking a super wide turn. It was like coming straight at me. I was like, oh, but I was like, I'm not really that scared about it. I've seen this already. So I'm like, yeah, right. Like it's like, yeah, no, like I saw the car, I dodged out the way, I survived. And like, so I like, you never forget that. Like I've seen the video so many times, but like you don't forget it in like a way, like in like a, like, it's just obviously traumatic, and like I get in cars and like I jaywalk like it's nothing. But even if I use a cane, but it's just like when you sort of survive death and you still feel the pain from it, so it's like still sort of new. You like never forget about it. It's like like it's like I think about that stuff because I'm like, Kanye survived death, but not like I survived death. That's different, I like I survived in a very 50 Cent sort of way, except what I mean? Like, so like it sort of changes your whole thing. Like it's like I still have the scar on my leg. I still feel things, but like it's like you can't get happy to be alive though. If you get mad.
I mean, how long was it before you were kind of up and around at all after you got hit?
It was months before I left the bed, and then I want to say I was in the hospital like 3 months, and I went to rehab for like a month or so, like 4 months. And so now I was like, I spent like the first couple of months or so, I didn't even leave the room. I didn't even leave my hospital bed. And I started leaving months, and I had to learn how to like shower and everything. I wasn't wiping myself, the whole shebang of that.
It's so much, man, because, that in and of itself would be crazy for anybody. But then, like you said, you were going out a lot, you were around people a lot, and then to be very isolated too.
Yeah, that's what. Like that's what I'm saying. I've done the pandemic. Everybody's dead. We're like on steroids. So like I'm like, it's like I'm like, no, I totally get it, yo. I know how you go through this shit, But I'm just like, I went through that stuff. I was just like so happy to be alive, like it was always good. Like I get tight at people and stuff like that. I still get tight and stuff like that, but I just be happy to be alive. It sounds like kind of corny to talk about like that, but
not at all, man.
Like I mean, but like it's like when you like, I feel like, I don't know, like I'm happy you're alive. So
yeah, 100%. I'm happy you're alive too, man. I'm happy you're with us. It was, I mean, when that happened, man, I still remember a lot of people like, because the video, I think you had the video early.
No. Seeing the video, the thing is, is that like I had. Everybody saw the video early, and like I didn't really see it until a few days afterward, and that's why I realized when people were like reaching out to me how stressed out everybody was because heads were on something like, heads were like nobody expected me to be the way I am right now. Do you know what I'm saying? Right. like people expected me to be like talking in like maybe like in an Iron Man suit or something, and then you saw me like this. Which honestly, we have a lot of money in the world. And I think they should give everybody who's disabled just an Iron Man suit. We have enough money. Like Elon Musk, man, we just need to make an Iron Man suit for people. I don't even like that dude, but we got all this fake money in the world. Like, Kanye, you're a billionaire. Let's make Iron Man suits for the disabled. Like, I don't really need one right now, but I'm just saying, like, I spent that time in the wheelchair. I did the whole thing. Like, it's chill and stuff like that. But like, just like anything to help. I would really like to say, though, honestly, like, not me per se, because like I can like sort of walk and like I can slide, my stuff's different, but people need to really check out for the disabled people more. It's kind of crazy because like I would be in the wheelchair and like go into Starbucks and like people want to hold the door for me. It's like crazy. Y'all watch people disrespect. Yeah, man. Like, and I have the eye now because like I'd be like that. You know what I'm saying? And like I take the subway and like I watch how they like. Last time I was to the subway, I saw a lady in a wheelchair and like, I just saw her. She just like ain't nobody gonna move from me. I'm just going. So she knows how she does it, and like she was like a soldier in it. I like, but like it's like nobody ever shows any love. Real talk, it's like crazy out there. It's crazy in these streets.
That's really good perspective.
A man bumped me on purpose. Literally, a drunk 5'6" man bumped me on purpose when I was using I think I was using a walker. A man bumped me on purpose because he was like being drunk and saucy. That I had to walk. I was like, actually, I can still kind of walk, buddy. I'm just disabled, and it's fucked up because you're picking on the home. You're picking down the home because you're picking on the disabled, and that's a messed up thing. But that goes on in the street show. It's crazy out there.
Man, well, I'm glad to put that perspective out there, man, because that's definitely not something that comes up on this show all that.
Yeah. Like, man, hope, like, not of venues aren't made for people, man. Even me coming in as a the all access guest list and stuff like that. Boom. Fucking hell walking in these fucking venues. Even I told the people, a fucking nightmare. It's a nightmare, places are set up and people just don't be looking out when I'm not trying to say carry somebody's book bag or something like that, but people be really kind of crazy and it's you start, I got the eye now, I be seeing it and I still see how people treat people and don't be right.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, man. I mean, yeah, club culture and disabled people, there's a big disconnect there.
Oh, it's a
just
nightmare.
In general.
Oh, it's a nightmare. And luckily I got the cane now. I can walk through and people give me, but it don't be really built for people. And it's just it's messed up because you can only really be cool in the club and hopefully stuff's changing now. There's more seated areas like that. Unless you got the table or something like that, it's a nightmare, the situation.
Yeah,
or you gotta come 10 deep with your friends to protect you.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think about, back in the day in Chicago, Paul Johnson, who's in a wheelchair, you'd see him playing shows here and there. And he was down. He would do local shows, do kind of grimy shows. But man, you would never actually see him enter or exit the venue. It's just he'd kind of just appear in front of the decks in the wheelchair.
Exactly.
And then, you never actually watch the process, right?
Yeah.
Which must have been fucking hell for him. Some of those places.
Some would be hell, but also it's just wheelchair hell. It's like using a PC, It's you get used to it after a while. It's obviously an easier way to a point. Even I'm gonna use PCs every day. But I'm saying,
Oh yeah, no, and I wasn't saying that to be pitying him, but just in the sense of
oh no, I do that. I do what you're saying. I was going with you. I was just saying it's a hell, but it's just it's also a hell that you just get used to. But it's a hell. It's not. It's not. I still have a cane now. I don't walking through a club with a cane. It's not as comfortable. Yeah.
So I mean, going through that whole experience at the same time you were having this kind of career shift, did it change the way you approached your music, either writing or business wise?
It changed what I'd already changed my approach on my business wise because I was really trying to get paid off of I want streams and stuff like that. I wasn't DJing much before, but then when I knew I wasn't DJing, and I knew that there was no gigs enough, I'm no, we gotta get this money all the time, and I really got in that. And then also I'm I gotta make a living off this. I gotta support myself. For the young disabled man in America, I was I'm trying to make everything a banger. I got really and then also I had mad time just to write. I was home all the time. So that kind of changed my approach. And since you're not it has to hit in the club, but also it has to hit at home. And I listen to club music at home, so I listen to everything. But if I am not move myself and the vibe and stuff like that, and not on some I drunk a bottle or something like that, or even I get high and stuff. I don't want to be that in the vibe for me to feel the music and stuff like that,
Right.
So it has to really move me at home, and I do everything at home. They almost be in headphones. I have one KRK speaker that's working and stuff like that. So if it's not working, it's not working.
Right.
There's there ain't no. I'm not testing nothing in the club. I sort of do. I know when it works, but I'm testing. I'm testing the music on myself. I'm testing on a homie who comes through and something like that. I never got in. There's no club testing and stuff like that. I just know when it hits.
Right. Well, that's a great point too, because I think sometimes when you're working on a song or if you're with friends and it's oh, can you imagine, what it's going to look like playing this to whatever, it's going to go crazy. But your point is very spot on that actually it has to go crazy in your living room.
Yeah. It's got
to do both.
Yeah, it has to go crazy in the room. And also, here's this thing I do though is that you have to start picturing the environments. I already in every environment I've got lists is actually on my Twitter of intended environments where I think are actual places which aren't festivals. And it's like Juve on Carnival. It's Tennis back when tennis was cool on a Sunday. It's One Oak. It's all these places that I see. It's everyday people party. And if I when I feel the vibe, I already live in the imagined world of it,
Right.
or you put a music video up on the screen and you just watch it and vibe like that. Yo, I'll put the dance music video on the screen. Yo, it's crazy. I be going brazy in the crib. My roommate was here. Yo, like 9 o'clock in the morning. She's like, "Are you stopping around?" I'm like, "Oh, my bad, Joe. I was shuffling in the morning off of the weed and the coffee. I'm so crazy. My bad." But that's just the vibe. Cause like I like started. You know, I had lights going on. I had going on 24/7 in my own tip. I just created a whole vibe. It's like I created a party here, but it's not a real party. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Branching off of that, my favorite one you did recently was the sort of 90s commercial for your Nutcrackers.
Yeah,
you were like rapping in the style of a 90s commercial.
Yerp.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about that. And you've got the Club Demon shirt on as well.
Yes.
So there's a couple side hustles going on.
There's a couple side. Yeah. Let's put these on the thing if we can see this. Yerp.
Yeah.
Okay. Yerp. So I've launched a Nutcracker company in LA called Yerp.
Talk about, I think there's probably a lot of people listening. I think there's people listening who don't know what a Nutcracker is.
Okay, so here's what, I'm also a Nutcracker brand. And Nutcracker is a mixed beverage, mixed alcohol beverage that's sold on the streets of New York. It started in uptown New York by Black and Dominican entrepreneurs. And it became, it's a thing. If you're in the park, if you're a Nutcracker person comes through and they go, I got Nutcrackers, all these flavors. They're usually very, very fruity, very high alcoholic, but and so we're doing the same thing here, but it's not super alcoholic. We're using better liquor. But it's still like good size,
Yeah.
But and also, I'm not really into super alcoholic stuff. I mean, people who guys like, I'm drunk all one. I was like, okay, cool, but just only drink half of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool.
Right.
Just drink half of it. But it's but real fruit juices and stuff like that. We're doing pickups and delivery. It's Europe, LA, and stuff like that. And that's just what I just trying to bring the Nutcracker culture here. And we're okay. The Dominicans from uptown, so we're okay. So guys, don't worry. Cool.
you got the nod, yeah.
Yo, Miro from These is a Miro said it's okay. So he's the Bodega crew rocks with me and my boy OJ. So from downtown. So I got all the Dominicans. We're all cool behind me. So I'm just out here in LA. We're doing whatever we can. And then I have I got the Club Demon t-shirts, and hopefully by the time this podcast comes out, they would have been sent out. But you know how merch is. You know how merch is. Everybody's mad at me. I said estimated, and everybody said they're sitting there. I'm like, yo, Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift will give you your merch 5 months after you order. You'll be happy if you get your stuff in a month and a half from me. Travis Scott, you will not see your merch for 6 months. Real talk.
It's true.
Like real talk. I don't know what you must be used to EDM merch. This is a whole new world. We're doing streetwear, guys. It's a weird vibe here.
Yeah, well, that's true. And I think probably a lot of the people who ordered are expecting sort of EDM merch where it's very assembly line.
Yeah, and that's not how. That's not. If you bought an ASAP Rocky tour shirt, you're not getting it for 7 months. If you bought a thing off the website, you're not getting it. I'm sorry. That's just how it happens.
Different energy, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
When Club Demon is just such a great turn of phrase, man. And you've been saying that for years.
Yeah, I've been saying that. Yeah. So I mean, it's like Club Demon. It says why and where you can send it. It's just about just lurking the club. You always start from club scum. We're always club scum. You hear the story. I've come from being in the club, and you're always still that. You're always still that. And people be, your Club Demon just into the life and stuff like that. But I'm really trying to make it where it's the life of Club Demon is not necessarily you're getting messed up per se.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just you're in the club. And not that you're necessarily dancing in clubs or you're the god of the clubs, even though I'm a club guy. Just you just like being in the club, you know what I mean? I know Club Demons who just like to drink at a water, just drink a water or something like that, Yeah. I at the corner who don't even talk to people, And
that's kind of me, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, and then also it's not about clubbing 24/7 because I think people have this it's really for everybody, but not because what people don't realize is that who makes up the majority of the club who believe they're club demons are people who only go out once a month, and those are the real club demons, you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're enraged, but like yeah, I used to do this, and like they could be 48 and they're like and they're 19 in the club, but like cool in the club demon. You get it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I love that, man. And I think there's something about just that phrase and the way you're talking about, the way you think about it. I think this is the same reason why people connect with your music and your vocals so much, is because, you know, you mentioned earlier that, you know, so much of sort of club talk is just talking about like popping bottles, you know, hanging with models, whatever it is. But you're not only are you specific, but you kind of have this idea of what it means to you. And that's what I think people connect with you. And I'll take it a step further to just be about producers and artists in general. That's what everybody connects with, right? Is you have to take it one step beyond the surface level.
Yeah, you have to take it one. And I think that's why everybody who's good at club music is kind of in the club or you're in a space. You know what I mean? You know, like some people, they're just like either they're into like finding the space of sound and they're thinking all about the sonics of the club, you know, or they are actually thinking about the vibe. And it's funny how you bring up the bottles thing, because I bring this up all the time. That is not even real club stuff. And that's usually what people who have heard about the club outside the club, you know? And that's not the club, you know what I mean? And you know, and I talk sometimes about even when people shoot content for DJs and stuff like that, or even when DJs make stuff, I was like, your whole perspective is you're staring at the crowd, or the crowd is staring at you, you know? And what you need to be is that I see the club as these dancers in the back who aren't even the crazy dancers on Instagram. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's just a friends having a dance circle. You know, so like, yo, hype it up. Yo, get it, you kill it, dad. And that's club culture. You know, like that's, you know, it's the small moments, you know, and that's what people don't really realize. It's all about these intimate moments. It's like, yo, I saw Dane Tenaglia back, you know what I'm saying? But I was with these kids from Bay Ridge, and I can remember the whole vibe. Like, I don't remember the ecstasy, but I remember hanging out with them for that whole time, you know what I'm saying? And it's really about those moments and stuff like that, because it's like, no, the people, not I hated the kids, you know, the people going to the club is like, when you're so in the whole trap mindset of the people in the back, it's like everybody's a cool agent and stuff like that, you know, and everything that's like, yeah, in the club people were cool. I know this guy dropped names. Like, no, man, who's really in the club is homie who pulled up to the club with an energy drink, who sort of chugged the Four Loko around the corner, you know what I mean? Who's all chill like that, who's sharing a White Claw in the club with the homie, you know what I'm saying? That's, you know, like that's, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that's real club culture. Absolutely.
That's club culture, you know?
Yeah, man. And it's so funny that the people who, you're absolutely right, the people who get successful in this game, in a weird way, even though they're still in the clubs performing or whatever all the time, they get disconnected from that, right? And then it's much harder for them to relate and be authentic about sort of the roots of it and where they came from. It's interesting.
Yeah, but you know, lots of times they never really went in the club. They like you were never in the club, especially the producer culture. You know, it's like
true too.
You know, it's like no, you are a producer, and then you got in the club. You know, and sometimes there's a very bad rock star culture about it, you know, where like you want all the other dumb bottles trapping. Like, it's like, I love the rider, give the rider back to me, you know what I mean, all day. But like, yo, it's like you get into the vibe and you're not there, you know, because like you don't connect, you know. I was at EDC. I talk about this all the time. Like, I was at EDC. I remember this time in the backstage. I know who it was. And this guy, she was like, yo, man, game's dead. These kids don't care anymore. It's not the same as it was anymore, man. It's all done. This is all dead. I've never been to EDC before in my life. So what do I know? I was like, yo, I don't know. I had a great time, bro. I had a great time at EDC. I was like, this right here, though, my dude, this right here is a horrible vibe. It's you and the homie talking and a bunch of producers talking, like not even it's you and the homie sort of like messed up, and you're talking about it. It's like, yo, this is a bad vibe. Yeah, it's dead. Of course it's jaded, because everybody's in the industry is mad jaded. Like, no, man, I saw the homie who I don't even know being really hype about stuff, and it's all good. Like people are having vibes in the club, and you lost that, and you never had that. And you never had that. And that's on you. Maybe you'll be out, you know.
I love that, man. Yeah. So, because everybody's jaded after a certain point in this game, man. And that's where people go wrong.
And you know what's crazy? That the pandemic has made me jaded about the club because I've seen how people be like all the really, they want everything to come back that I like, but I'm not really into. And I spent, I wonder, I'm like, is this what I really want to be like helping contribute to? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like there's lots of weird stuff coming on. I'm just like, I don't really feel the vibes. I was like, oh, you just really want the fun to continue? I was like, I'm fine. I like to do music. I like my stuff to bang in the club. I've been there a long time like that. All that other stuff, like kind of when you just care too much about the dumb stuff, I'm like, I'm not even sure about it because I even do music like that, and the kids like that. I don't do stuff like that, and I'm just like, but when you're in the industry, you start hanging with too many people who have money and like all that sort of hang, and like I'm just like watching people. I'm just like, I'm not sure I'm good. Like I'm like, I was in the club. Like I've been to the club too long. I feel like I'm like too old to watch people go through all the trappings. I've already met my good friends who understand the club culture. I don't really need to meet new more and start waiting them out and waiting through their friends and go through all these like I'm too old
all
for
their drama. Yeah. So, I mean, with all that in mind, then what's going on with the album you're working on? Like sonically, what's it like? Where's your head at with it?
Well, I've got some music coming out before the album. I've got collabs and stuff, and just because of situations, like so there's like that stuff before the album comes out.
Yeah. I mean, I want to talk about everything that you got coming out. I was just curious because you mentioned the album.
I just like always like try to tell people because I was like, no, it's like not. It's nothing good to say. I guess the album's been done, like written, but it's not been, fully produced yet. And I'm just at this point trying to, oh man, fucking audio stopped.
Yeah, so the album is it's I like to say it's club music, but I'm trying to make I'm trying to make the music that hits in the festival and stuff like that, but that they play on the pedicabs. Trying to play pedicab music. I'm trying to make like pool party music, but like not like pool disco. Just like when the pool party gets dope and stuff like that. Yeah. Like it's definitely stuff that like house, like the house has real like. I'm not gonna like there's like some hip hop and like different vibes. At this point I'm just making too much beats. I'm like working on 2 albums, but like it's like some house stuff and stuff like that. There's some club stuff, but it's just basically. I'm trying to make it just modern and organic. That's just how just like not trying to like do like lo-fi vibes or like like not trying but I do want it to have enough of a vibe that I don't turn away the urban, the black audience and stuff like that. I always like and stuff like that, but I'm not like trying to just do the bass house top 10 with me rapping over it. There's really no place for me to go there. I'm like at this point I try to think of things like if Daft Punk didn't have any money and they were in the studio with Travis Scott, and we're talking Drake club life. That's where I'm at.
I like that. That's a good vibe.
Yeah, that's.
And what other collabs do you have? Anything you can talk about that's going to be dropping sooner?
Yeah, I probably could talk about it, but I don't know if I should because it just ain't nothing coming out. I got everybody waiting for Skinny Dipping. I know that's that one song. I don't know that's coming out.
Yeah. That's dope, man. I'm just glad to see you productive. I mean, it's awesome to just hear you talk about making beats every day and working. Yes. I mean, what's the most fun thing for you? Like, what are you excited about? What do you enjoy about this career right now?
I really just love that when the money's right, you know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, like when the money's right, like as long I just like that I could just like, especially I could just like go make beats and just like do whatever. I mean, I'm sort of in a good place right now where I have stuff lined up where I don't have to worry about stuff. And when I want to have the album when it's done, I'll have the pathways for it. So I just like kind of like that. I can just sort of like, I can do whatever I want really. And I can pick and choose who I work with. And I don't even need to work with anybody, like unless they're paying. So it's just like, I just kind of like that, like, and people are down for whatever. People will buy a shirt, people will buy a nutcracker, maybe, like, it's the thing, like, no, dances, I come through and just like do something and people are kind of down with it, Maybe they're not, but it's enough for me to buy brunch, and that's all that really matters.
I love that, man. That's the right attitude, honestly, man. And you're always talking on Twitter about how people sort of get their goals twisted and prioritize the wrong things. Yeah. And I love hearing you say that, man, because that at the end of the day, it's just about being able to make shit that's fun to you, that you think is cool, and you know, pay your bills with it.
That's what I think about all the time. And that's what I really changed my mind in the hospital. I feel like one time I was really going for it, I really changed my mindset. I was like, look, man, what made you happy when you were a kid in Philly? I just literally wanted to make beats, buy gear, and buy weird things to drink. You know what I mean? Like, shout out to Crazy Canadian. You know what I mean? Like, yo, yo, I can like go. I now sell weird fruity things. I've got, like I can rap and do what I want. I don't have a job and I've got a clout to full gear. What more could I want? Like, I don't really know. I don't even like to drive. So there's only I can love. It's like a big house and a pool. I actually like my living situation, but whatever, to a point, you know, like I like my house. It's nice.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. That's great, man. And do you enjoy the Twitter aspect of it? Is that still fun for you, being that active on social media?
I watch what I say on Twitter now. I really watch what I say on Twitter, and I watch what I say on Twitter, not even like just so I just don't say anything that I even have to talk about in any way, shape, or form. If I say something controversial on a serious subject, I like not even serious, like even if about serious subjects, like not controversial take. If it's something that people talk about, I make sure I subtweet it and like keep it in mad different slang. I don't know, holding the money in my hand.
I love that.
I keep it in mad different slang going on and stuff like that. So this way I don't have to argue about dumb stuff, you know? Like I tweeted about Kanye yesterday and I made it just a little bit too nice that people want to argue about. I was like, this is stupid. Right. I don't want that. You know, like I don't like that. I'm very careful when I talk about race now. I talk about race. I say the whole thing. But guess what? It only gets hit to the urban community and black people. Ain't nobody ever go, I've had like Nazis in my whole thing. I'm like, I had a dude last week come up for me for that Nazi friend all my life. Like, I don't like that. That stuff don't enjoy me anymore. I've had people like so that I don't like no more. But I like being on the internet. I like memes. I like getting ideas out. I love sharing knowledge with people. And so I just like whatever, man. Like, I love learning from people. So like, whatever, I don't care.
I love it, man. It's crazy to me because I don't tweet or post on IG that much, but I love people like you who do, because it really does feel like I'm just like getting this unfiltered feed of your brain. And I love that feeling, man. And especially you dispense, like in between all the crazy stuff too, you're dispensing a lot of advice. Like even when you tweeted about Kanye yesterday, you sort of turned it into a lesson for EDM producers who are worried about, what label they're going to sign to, all of that.
It's so crazy. When I say that, people think I'm bugging now. Like I really try to break them down with facts. It's like that whole. I'm like, I try to break it. These EDM people we worry about what label to sign to, and they sign to these labels that don't do anything. They don't get no plays. You can be in the Beatport top 10 and have 1,000 plays. It doesn't matter. That does nothing for you. I promise you, it does nothing for you. And I try to explain that, but there's on the lower level, because it's always been run by gigs. And they never really got to like big song level. There's been a very outdated mindset. I've been really trying to get people out of it because they're not going to survive past this pandemic. Like all the big song heads, people are going to be totally good, but it's going to turn really, really dark unless you like are really, really, really plugged in with ages of bookings. And everybody don't got that.
Yeah, well, especially those cosigns and the clout stuff doesn't really matter so much when the gigs aren't there, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter at all. That barely. Also those things didn't matter for me though. Like I put up because also promoting and stuff like that. You need like a mostly white commercial like you, man. It just it is what it is. That is just not how the game is. So I was always sort of like there's not much. I don't really like. I couldn't really imagine. I mean, I guess I could. Like there are good labels, which I'm going to put stuff out on. But like,
of course.
But all like I tell people, like you get caught up. It's not really the same. I know people will put a song on one label, which gets a lot of hype, and they expect this thing. I'm like, well, look, that label puts out 100 people. There's not that many major cities in America. So as a result, and y'all can't play every time. So as a result, you can't expect that label to do what you expect for you. That's not because the label's bad. That just means that there's a lot of people. It's just how it happens. I'm like, look, this happened with Rockefeller Records. This is not weird. You know, like anybody on Rockefeller Records did not get this. I'm not. This is just facts. So you have to like look at this in a very different way. I'm like, all right, man, guys. I guess I'm just ranting. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go walk away at my designer, which you don't have. So have fun with that, man. Figure that out.
I love that, man. Well, shit, man. I don't want to take up your whole day here.
Yo, thanks for having me, man. That was a great talk, man.
No, this was really fun, good. Man. Is there anything else we didn't talk about? Anything else that you want to get out there?
Just share knowledge, man. Especially share knowledge to people who don't, in a very nice, calm way, who like don't necessarily get knowledge. Like you know the deal. All the letters and all that shit. You know the deal. Seriously, because people don't really and share opportunities and don't put nothing around people that have it, and then you'll go profit because everybody knowing the game who really wins off that is either a crazy person who will get locked out because they fucked up too many people in the game, or they really share like it's all crazy. That's all I gotta say. Like share and don't take ownership when you share. That's all I gotta say.
That's perfect, man. I don't want to say anything else. We're gonna end it right there. Yeah.
All right, peace. I'm Willy the Zoo.
Yeah, good to see you, man.
Now? All right, peace.
Yeah.
Peace.
All right, bye.
Peace.
All right, that's the show. Shout out to Dances with White Girls. Great to have you on, man. Frog, that was so much fun. For everybody out there listening, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Don't forget, Dances with White Girls, a man of many talents. If you're out in the LA area, you got to check out his Nutcracker brand, Yerp. I'm going to link to that in the description of this episode. Get yourself some delicious, delicious beverages delivered to you. And even if you're not out in LA, I mean, you just got to follow Dances. Keep up to date with all the music he's dropping, everything he's working on. Pretty much anytime his name is attached to a song, you know it's going to be good. So follow him. You can follow me as well at Willy Joy or at Back to Back Pod on all social media. Or you can just come join the Back to Back Discord. Come chat with me. The link for that is in the description of this episode as well, and we would love to have you there. That's it for this week. Man, it's nice to record one of these when I'm in a good mood. It's been, a hectic few weeks. I think everybody's a little frazzled. Everybody's a little exhausted right now. But we might be seeing the light at the end of at least one particular tunnel right now. I love all you guys. For anybody who went out there and voted, for anybody who went out there and protested, made your voice heard, anything in this crazy election cycle, I'm proud of all you guys. Of course, the fight is not over. There's still so much more left to do, but this is a step in the right direction. I love all you guys out there listening, everybody tuning in every single week, regardless, man, sharing these conversations, spending this time with all of you, it's very meaningful for me. It makes me feel closer and connected in these crazy times, and I hope it can do the same thing for you. I love you guys. Take care of yourself. Take care of the people around you, and I will talk to you next week. For Back to Back, this is Willy Joy. Peace.